The Emperor Who Conquered Himself. The life story of Samrat Ashoka. Long before the great cities of Rome rose to power, before the first stone of the Great Wall of China was laid, the Indian subcontinent was home to one of the world's largest and most organized empires, the Mauryan Empire. Among its rulers, one name stands above all: Ashoka Maurya, known to history as Samrat Ashoka or Ashoka the Great, a king remembered not just for his conquests but for how he changed after them. Ashoka was born around 304 BCE in the royal palace of Pataliputra, modern-day Patna, the glittering capital of the Mauryan Empire. His father, Emperor Bindusara, was the son of the empire's founder, Chandragupta Maurya, a ruler who had once dethroned corrupt kings and united northern India under one banner with the help of his brilliant advisor, Chanakya. The empire Ashoka was born into was vast, prosperous and powerful, but it was also a place of intrigue, suspicion, and ruthless ambition. Little is known for certain about Ashoka's mother, though ancient texts call her Subhadrangi or Dharma and describe her as wise and kind-hearted. As a boy, Ashoka was bright, curious, and strong-willed. He trained in royal arts, archery, swordsmanship, politics, and philosophy. Unlike his elder brother Susima, the designated heir, Ashoka showed a fierce independence. Some legends say his skin was dark, earning him the nickname Ashoka, meaning without sorrow. But ironically, sorrow would shape his life more than anyone could imagine. In his youth, Ashoka showed a ruthless edge that both impressed and frightened the court. When rebellions broke out in Taxila, a rich but restless province far northwest of Pataliputra, Bindusara sent Ashoka to put them down. Ashoka crushed the rebels with such force that stories of his cruelty spread, earning him the title Chand Ashoka or Ashoka the Fierce. Yet, Ashoka was not just brutal, he was efficient, capable, and beloved by soldiers for his courage and fairness on the battlefield. He earned the governorship of Ujjain, another key city on the empire's western frontier. There, he gained fame for his ability to rule diverse people with both an iron fist and a fair hand. It is said that during his time in Ujjain, Ashoka fell in love with a merchant's daughter named Devi, a kind woman devoted to the teachings of the Buddha. She bore him two children, Mahendra and Sangamita. These two would later play a vital role in spreading Buddhism far beyond India. When Bindusara died around 273 BCE, the Mauryan court plunged into chaos. A fierce succession battle erupted between Susima, Ashoka, and their other brothers. Stories vary wildly. Some say Ashoka killed his brothers in cold blood, others say he simply outwitted them. The true details are lost to history, but it is certain that Ashoka's path to the throne was soaked in blood. By 269 BCE, Ashoka had defeated Susima and his other rivals. He was crowned Samrat Ashoka, ruler of the Mauryan Empire, the mightiest king in all of India. At first, Ashoka ruled like his grandfather and father had ruled, firmly and decisively. He strengthened the empire's borders, improved the administration, and secured the loyalty of governors and soldiers. Yet deep inside, the seeds of a different path were already taking root. Seeds planted long ago by his gentle mother and his wife Devi. After consolidating his hold on the throne, Ashoka turned his eyes eastward. There lay Kalinga, a proud, independent kingdom on the eastern coast, modern Odisha. Kalinga had always resisted Mauryan control. For Ashoka, bringing Kalinga into the fold was both a test of strength and a chance to silence any remaining dissent. In 261 BCE, Ashoka's army marched into Kalinga. The people of Kalinga, though vastly outnumbered, fought fiercely to defend their freedom. The battle was catastrophic. Historical records say over 100,000 soldiers and civilians died, tens of thousands were taken captive, and entire villages were burned. Ashoka won the war, but lost his peace of mind forever. Standing among the dead on the banks of the Daya river, Ashoka was overwhelmed by the scale of human suffering he had unleashed. He saw widows searching for their husbands, mothers crying over lifeless sons, children wandering in ash and ruin. The great emperor, the conqueror of Kalinga, felt no pride, only an unbearable remorse that pierced his soul. Legends say this was the moment Ashoka looked inward and asked himself, "What kind of king am I? What kind of man am I becoming?" In this darkness, he remembered the gentle words of his wife Devi and the teachings of the Buddha he had heard in Ujjain. He sought out Buddhist monks and began to study the Dharma, the law of righteousness, non-violence, and compassion. In the years that followed, Ashoka transformed from a ruthless conqueror to one of the world's greatest advocates for peace and tolerance. He publicly embraced Buddhism, not as a state religion, but as a guide for ethical living. He called himself Devanampriya Priyadarshi, beloved of the gods, he who looks with kindness. Instead of armies, Ashoka now sent Dharma Mahamatras, officers of righteousness, to spread his message of compassion. He built thousands of stupas, Buddhist shrines, and monasteries. He ordered wells dug and trees planted along roads for travelers and animals. He built hospitals for people and even for animals, one of the world's earliest examples of state-sponsored veterinary care. Ashoka's greatest innovation, however, was his edicts. He had his thoughts, policies, and moral advice inscribed on pillars and rocks across his empire, in local languages so ordinary people could read them. These edicts still stand today, scattered from Afghanistan to Andhra Pradesh, telling the world that once a king tried to rule with his conscience. Ashoka knew that ideas could travel further than armies. He sent Buddhist missionaries far beyond India's borders. His own children, Mahendra and Sanghamitta, traveled to Sri Lanka, where they converted King Devanampiya Tissa and helped establish Buddhism as the island's dominant faith. Ashoka sent envoys to Central Asia, Egypt, and Greece, planting seeds of Buddhism along ancient trade routes. This peaceful expansion helped Buddhism grow into one of the world's great religions, shaping the art, culture, and spiritual lives of people from the Himalayas to Southeast Asia. Unlike many ancient kings whose words vanished with time, Ashoka left behind his voice carved in stone. His inscriptions reveal a thoughtful, sometimes anxious ruler who worried about his people's welfare, about fairness, about whether he was living up to his dharma. In one edict he declares, "All men are my children." In another, he instructs his officers to treat prisoners kindly, to release them on compassionate grounds during festivals, and to ensure justice for all. He did not force Buddhism on his subjects. Instead, his edicts urged respect for all faiths, Hindus, Jains, Ajivikas, because he wrote, "The essence of dharma is respect for all life." One of Ashoka's most enduring legacies is the lion capital at Sarnath, a magnificent sculpture of 4 lions standing back to back. This symbol, rediscovered by archaeologists in the 20th century, was adopted as India's national emblem after independence in 1947. The wheel beneath it, the Ashoka Chakra, sits at the heart of India's flag, a reminder of his guiding principle, that dharma should keep society in motion, like a wheel that turns forever. In his old age, Ashoka withdrew from worldly pleasures. He continued to govern but devoted more time to spiritual practice. His beloved wife Devi never lived in the royal court. She chose a simpler life, closer to her faith, perhaps because she could not bear the palace intrigues that had once cost so many lives. Ashoka is said to have built the famous Mahabodhi temple at Bodh Gaya, marking the place where Siddhartha Gautama attained enlightenment under the Bodhi tree. He encouraged pilgrimage to holy sites and tried to ensure that travelers were protected along the way. When he died around 232 BCE, after nearly 40 years on the throne, the Mauryan Empire began to weaken. His successors lacked his vision and moral authority, and within 50 years, the vast empire splintered into smaller kingdoms. Yet while Ashoka's empire faded, his ideas did not. The dharma he championed continued to guide generations across Asia. Monks carried his vision to Myanmar, Thailand, China, and Japan. His edicts, hidden for centuries under jungle and earth, were rediscovered by British archaeologists in the 19th century, proving that his voice still speaks. Today, more than 2,000 years after his death, Ashoka is remembered as one of history's few rulers who turned from conquest to compassion. His story reminds us that true greatness is not found in how much land one conquers, but in the courage to conquer oneself. In schools across India, children learn of Ashoka the Great, the warrior who laid down his sword, the king who called all people his children, the emperor who tried to build a kingdom not of fear but of kindness. His pillars stand silently under the sun and rain, their ancient inscriptions still clear. May all beings live without fear. May all beings live in harmony. In an age when the world still wrestles with war and division, Ashoka's story calls out from the past, asking each of us to imagine a better way. Samrat Ashoka's life was proof that even the fiercest conqueror can transform his heart. His dharma was not just a religion but a universal message. Treat others with respect, protect the weak, speak the truth, seek peace. May we carry his wheel of dharma forward, turning it gently, endlessly, for as long as there are people who long for peace. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new today. If you liked it, don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow. Also, I'd love to hear your thoughts. So drop a comment below and let's talk about it. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and press the bell icon so you never miss an update. Stay curious, stay inspired, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care and keep exploring.